So after going through a few auctions, picking up some stuff, I've been cleaning up some tools. Some of them are getting close to ready, some of them are not as ready. Let's take a look at some of the ones I'm putting through the evapor rust right now. My evapor rust is definitely looking a little bit darker already. Have a whole bunch of pliers. I went ahead and cleaned them off with the bench grinder and cleared off some of the rust and grease and junk and all sorts of stuff to make sure it doesn't soil the evapor rust very fast, because you know evapor rust only lasts for so many uses, but if you clear some of the gunk off of your tools, you'll get more uses out of it. Down here I have some C-clamps that I cleaned off. This is a nice old Stanley clamp. I gotta look up the value on some of these. And this right here, we have Brink and Cotton, two, I think 4-inch clamps right there. So those will look really nice. I could probably clean that up a little bit, but it'll be fine either way. So those will get cleaned up. Just coming out of the bath, I cleaned these with sandpaper, the shafts of these Craftsman screwdrivers, and then I put a little bit of oil on them. Among some other things, I have a blade here for a hand plane. There's the body for the hand plane right there. I gotta wipe these down and assemble them once they're all ready. But unfortunately, can't quite assemble it yet because I was trying to smooth out the top of this handle for the hand plane, and oh no, of course, I broke it. I broke it in half. There's the other piece. I actually got this off a different hand plane that I have at the shop because it looked a lot better than the one that came with this hand plane, which is a Stanley, a long boy, so it's gonna be worth a little bit more, which is a good thing. Hopefully there's not too much wind from my blower over there. Man, this place is dirty. Good grief. That's where we're at right now. I'm about to take a break, but hopefully these things start coming together, and I'll keep you guys in the loop here. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supply House is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Supplyhouse.com. Welcome back to Shop Talk. My name is Zack and I'm cleaning up some tools here. But I want to get on here and talk about something I started doing for my business, which might benefit your business or just something to think about. Now, I sell a lot of tools at my shop, and it's good to have some data so you know what's working and what's not working. I got a rough idea of what sells really fast or what takes a long time to sell. There's some specialty stuff out there that would take a long time to sell, but it does sell to the right person. Maybe one of these sites. I'm gonna clean this up. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know if I'll be able to sell it though, because it looks like a killer guy. Old school tools, but well, when I first started my business, I started my own way to keep track of inventory, how fast it sells, what it sells for, the sales totals, and I split it into categories. I built that on an Excel spreadsheet. So the Excel spreadsheet that I built will tally up my total sales, the cost of goods, the current value of the inventory of the store, and it splits it up into vintage tools, antique tools, which I kind of merge those two together over time. So vintage tools, hand tools, which would be non-vintage hand tools, power tools, accessories like toolboxes, and then other, which would be kind of specialized stuff that doesn't fit into any category. So I already knew what percentages they fell into. So it's good to have all the data. So what I started to do is I started tracking what day of the week they sell, so I know where to concentrate my efforts, when to drop by the store and when to stay away, so I'm not interfering with shopping, which is Saturday. It's not really a brain teaser, but Saturday is the biggest day. In fact, over the weekend, over 50% of all sales take place on the weekend. So that's good to know. Usually I stop by the store on Thursday or Friday. Friday's a mid-grade sale day. But something that I really got fired up about is I started indicating how quickly things sell, put them into two categories really. The hot items, which sell in less than 20 days, and the cold items that take longer than 150 days. Because lots of items sit there for months and months and months, and that's not abnormal. The average amount of days it takes for me to sell an item is, I think it was 64 days. That fluctuates. The average price of the item's around $14, I think. And it's good to know what sells quickly so you can focus on it. That way I learned that I brought in these little keychains that are just kind of novelty keychains. They sold really, really fast, so I could order some more. I brought in some signage, like man signage, like stuff that I would use around my shop if I wanted it here. Like, come back with a warrant. That's something that I would have in my shop because that's a sentiment that I have. Mobile oil signs, kind of vintage signs, stuff like that. And they sold real good, so I'm able to track that and bring in some more of those. Something like a hand plane, which I knew sold pretty fast. I can see how quickly they sell. I can bring in things that sell quickly. I can focus on things that sell poorly and say maybe I don't want to carry these items anymore. Maybe when I go to auction, I won't purchase these items anymore. That sort of thing. So you could do this with any business. You could focus on what works and what doesn't work. Keep track of it over time, because it has to be over time. If you go like 3 months, it's not a really fair time period because there's seasonal things. There's just, you want a certain amount of longevity so everything works out properly. If you don't give it a proper test period, you're not going to get accurate results. Like if I did for 1 day, and so, well, 1 day, a drill sold, so I need to buy 100,000 drills. But that's not actually true because you may go for 3 months and only sell that 1 drill still. So you want to track it for a certain period of time. As for me, the hot items and stuff I've been tracking this entire time because I just went back and looked at all of them, gave them an indicator so I could see easily what sold and what didn't sell. So that's something I would suggest for you guys out there. Make sure you're tracking using data, because if you don't use data, then you don't really know. You have a gut feeling about stuff. But when you have so much going on, it's hard to have a significant gut feeling that is also accurate. And that's the thing. It has to be accurate. And mine wouldn't have been accurate because I found out that there's certain things I didn't realize that sold very quickly and had been sitting there for so long. So that's my words of wisdom for today. I hope they help you guys out there. God bless all of you, and I'll see you on the next one.